back to it. As the ship makes its way through the star system, a strange fatigue falls over you. Your eyelids grow heavy and the quill you have been using draws up yet another order falls from your hand. You raise your head with a start. Someone else is there, in your study. You stand up and stare at dozens upon dozens of corpses surrounding you. Among their number, you recognize the disfigured and bloodied faces of those who died on the ship's bridge, and those you met in your previous life. How is this possible? Where are the enforcers supposed to stand guard? It matters not. You are alone against a horde of heretics risen from the darkness to take your life. As if of its own accord, the shard lying on the edge of the desk, the sole remnant of Kunrad Voigtvere's weapon, slips into your hand. The metal is searing cold. The dead sway from side to side, closing in around you in a nightmarishingly slow advance. Kneel before the rogue traitor. All you hear in response is unintelligible voices, whispers, moans, and derisive laughter. Anger ignites your chest and you clutch the shard, which ravenously bites into your palm with its sharp edges. Unbearably bright light floods everything around you, and you find yourself surrounded by groveling minions, their bodies shivering in your mere presence. Your hands no longer hold a pitiful shard, but a majestic and intricate weapon. A skillfully crafted sword with a strange, unnerving proportions, a curved design and unusual hilt adorned with the image of a closed eye. That looks like a chaos weapon. Your eyes open wide, revealing a gaze so ancient and dark that it steals your breath away. You have felt this gaze before, there on the bridge, and the voice that appears in your mind only confirms your guess. The tapestry is woven. The path is chosen. Accept your fate, champion. Throw the demon blade away. Your body refuses to obey your mind. The handle feels as if it's become one with your hands, and the gaze of the demonic eye sets your very soul ablaze. Resisting your fate is futile. You scream as your soul burns away to ash. You awaken from the vision kneeling next to your desk, clothes drenched in sweat with a sour taste on your tongue. Your head is ringing. You struggle to recall the faces and the image of the sword in your hand. Only the deep cut in your palm and the bloodied shard lying on the floor remind you of what just transpired. You would rather die than touch that thing again, so you reach a shaking hand for your vox and call for a servitor. Now you just have to wait for a mindless automaton to arrive. Pick up the cursed artifact and head for the nearest airlock to be claimed by the void. Oh shit! What's happening? Starport greets you with a din of ordnance and smell of explosives tickles your nostrils. It is difficult to tell through the smoke who is firing at whom. Halt! Weapons on the ground or I'm firing! And in a torn and dirty uniform hobbles towards you from the chunks of rockcrete and crumpled plasteel. His cracked helmet is adorned with a crooked label that reads Sergeant Malgar. Alright, so our skies are in lockdown, the rebels are shooting down anything that flies, and you lot just happen to land in our rear without a scratch. Did you show for it? And on a shuttle like that. Where did you get it? Stolen from the palace, isn't it? You're visibly awed by the resplendent gold of your transport. Grab 'em, lads. We've got ourselves a rebel landing force. By the Holy Throne, what is this mess? In a rough spot, old man. Go easy on them. I'm the rogue trader Von Valancius. Give me a status report this instant. He just believed me, just like that. With a mixture of awe and terror, he snaps to attention, raises his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier and barks. My mistake, ma'am. At once. Starport is under the control of the governor's wardens. Perimeter commander is Sergeant... Frag grenade explosion cuts off the rest of the sergeant's words. Shrapnel flies everywhere with a piercing screech. One of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm that is now adorned with crimson tatters. Blood is pouring out of the stump, and the soldier's agony is short-lived. The sergeant curses and hastily says an army prayer for the dead. With rasping cough, the sergeant turns back to you. Pardon me, ma'am. Sergeant Last Malgar reporting. My unit is holding the starport on the governor's orders. How may I serve? What is going on here? Unrest, ma'am. Armed rebellions in both the capital and the provinces. First the lower levels sparked, and then it went up the spires. They hit the vox hubs, the arsenals, the Mag train stations. Then Felix tore off his mask, precisely because he knew about the trouble on Rykad Minoris. He knew that none of our allies would come to our aid. Cassia let out a sorrowful sigh. You may continue your report, peasant. My unit was here when it all went to the Groxes. The tech priest linked to the satellites reported sightings of strange void ships in the system. They were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Rykad Majoris. The governor took precautionary measures in order to increase security at the key facilities. Everyone knows that whenever something's not right, you better double the ward in detail. The alarm was raised and we were sent to secure the starport. It's the only reason we were able to hold it. They're crushing us, the scumbags. It's been a whole turn since the last reinforcements came in, and we're running low on ammo. Every other fighter is wounded. I don't know how bad it is in the streets, but they'll drive us out of here any minute. Who are you anyways? Sergeant Last Malgar Mab, 11th generation loyal soldier of House Winterscale. Awarded 3 commendations for faultless service. Ever since the olden days, His Lordship the Rogue Trader has recruited soldiers and shipwrights on Rykad Minoris, so there is no greater honor for a Rykordian than serving His Lordship with diligence, or cause of rebellion. Ill thoughts, ma'am. We've fallen on hard times, the ground keeps shaking, things keep exploding, the people are scared. They've forgotten all about their duty. And that's when those, Emperor forgive me, preachers came. They started riling everyone up. Sure enough, we shot a few, but they just kept coming, more and more of them. I cannot leave you and your people without aid. Reinforcement will be sent from my ship. Live to serve. The sergeant is so astonished he only barks out the mandated words of gratitude after a non-mandated lengthy pause. We won't fail, we won't forget. We'll be praying to the Emperor for you, your ladyship, ma'am. Do you know if a member of the Inquisition has come? I don't know, ma'am. There definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. You might have to inquire at the headquarters, your ladyship, ma'am. I'm going to see the governor. If I may report, ma'am, as long as the rebels keep shooting their damned anti-aircraft batteries, there's absolutely no way to show you to the governor. You would have to be on foot, and the streets are dangerous. I have no one to send you as an escort. I assigned all available troops to accompany the esteemed tech priest to the governor. I will broadcast orders to them to wait for you, and I'll inform headquarters. They better send out a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, we will follow governor's orders and hold the line here. Adira frowns. She's looking through the sergeant. You're a good soldier, but you've got a lot of blood on your hands, both yours and others. You know, the same hand that salutes now might falter in darkness. Rank and epaulets won't save you from the bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head around these fancy words you're saying. I've seen plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight to my last drops. What waits me? All of our roadblocks are gone. The whole place is in the rebels' hands. The city is almost lost, so no help will come. We are surrounded by rebels, so watch your step. The streets are chock full of mines. Remark about mines lodge yourself into your memory more than anything. You need to watch the ground and not your surroundings. You'd rather risk a shot from a rebel or jittery soldier than experience a few handfuls of lethal frag shrapnel resting on some of 300 grams of explosive Vicilline. What tech priest? A very important person from Adeptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked down the sky. He kept on asking whether anyone by the name of Emerant or Emarnat or something like that had recently arrived. Barely answered any of our questions, though. Said he was under no obligation to tell us anything. He demanded to talk to the governor personally, so I had to send a quarter of my troops with him to keep trouble at bay. You're a good soldier, Malgar. I see your heroism. I live to serve. Another explosion interrupts the sergeant's words. With a sigh of relief, he turns to his soldiers and spits out booming series of commands. God, I love Argenta. Closer and I don't shoot. Oh my god. Whew. The young shaggy-haired soldier is still pale. Nonetheless, as you approach, he holsters his pistol, the hallmark of good discipline. Gives you a somewhat frightened but genuine smile. Thank you, my lady. You arrived in the nick of time. I don't know what those babbling creeps wanted with me, but it definitely wasn't anything good. You unharmed? Well, thanks to you, my lady. Those blind lunatics are all over the city right now. These rebels damn them to the void. They go around maiming anyone they get their hands on, scorching their eyes. Then they leave the poor sods driven mad by the pain to wander the streets babbling nonsense. The command doesn't want anyone to talk about it, but I've heard whispers that it's not just some nonsense, it's heresy. Actual heresy. Plus listening to it scrambles your brain. It made one patrolman freeze in his tracks while the blind mob got a hold of him and carried him from his post off to who knows where. Lucky Jasper, the governor's aide and personal Vox operator. I was dispatched to a starport on special orders. Acclaim's desperately trying to tame his tousled hair. What exactly were you doing here on your own? Following Governor Medina's special instructions, namely. Alright, it's a secret assignment. I can't talk about it. What if what you know is Price's intelligence and you were to die before you could relay it to anyone? Well, that would make me a saboteur and a traitor, wouldn't it? Yes, you're right. This is an emergency. He looks relieved. So why did they send you to the starport? I'm supposed to deliver an updated Vox codes, and how should I put it? Assess the situation. The planet is a real mess at the moment. The rebels have found their way into our Vox net and are out eavesdropping. It's made proper communication impossible. The hollowed electrodynamic cenobium had sent out a distress call before it went dark. And who even knows what's happening in the system? There's been a riot on Ricadi Philia, the prison planetoid. York 5 station is silent, although the navigators there have always been a reclusive bunch. I was hoping I'd be lucky enough to run into a pilot or a captain here who can give me an update, but that's hardly a possibility right now. The rebels are blasting at anything that tries to land out of the sky with their damn cannons. Stop stalking. A little too abruptly. They scorn ordinary folk. The only person willing to grace audiences is esteemed Vain Winter Scale. That place is creepy. They say they order shuttles with servants from Reichened minors on a regular basis. I guess they're too important up there to change filters and clean compartments themselves, huh? Except I've never met anyone who has served there. It's like no one has ever come back. Your brothers and sisters lived and died for a great cause, serving in Navigator House, and therefore all of the Imperium. It is high honor, one that few could bear. Something else you're hiding from me? It's nothing classified, just personal. There's another reason why I'm here. My betrothed is missing. Raquel Ficari, the esteemed Vain Winterscale's personal pilot. When the riot reports came from Rakitophilia, Lord Yvain headed there personally. Then this rebellion started down here and we lost communication. No one knows how they're doing up there. You know what I'm afraid of? That they'll come back here and those rebel scumbags will shoot them out of the sky. I want to find a place that's high up, set up a Vox caster there and send them a transmission. The sky is closed off, don't try to land. But I didn't make it in time. Those blind dogs chased me, and then as I was running I tripped and broke the caster. I worry for her. She's an excellent pilot, but I still worry. That is why all members of a voice ship clan share the same employment. No matter how devoted a servant of the Emperor is to their duty, there's always danger that family ties might disrupt regulation and order. Pray not for her for survival, but for her honorable death should it come to it. Forgive me, my lady, but my wish is to see Raquel alive again. She's everything to me. Who is a Vain Winterscale? Stephen Arbor, scion of the blessed rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, master of the Rycat system, at the behest of his illustrious father or grandfather or uncle, well, his illustrious relative, Lord Yvain took up residence on Rycad Minoris. Betrays a fierce inner struggle before he blurts out. You know what I think? I find it curious that blessed Caligos didn't make him the ruler of our world. Lord Yvain is his blood, but it's the governor who rules us. So why do you think he sent him here? I think he's been exiled. Do you think the governor can handle it? Well, obviously I'm not some pessimist to say otherwise. I won't tell anyone. Really won't? Well, then, if you ask me, things are pretty rotten. His words come flying out at a rate of stubber fire. Those rebels are strange. We would have easily quelled a normal riot. We're not some commoners, we're Racadians, the naval elite of House Winterscale, but those people, they're vicious. They know no fear. And their attacks, they're so precise, it's like they know what's going to happen ahead of time. The command executed 7 officers on suspicion of espionage, but it's not about spying. They say the leader of the rebels is some two-faced Aurora who can see into the future. Now she is a real danger. She can see into the future, is that right? We'll see about that. She's up against the wrong psyker. My breezy whispers may be vague, but they've not failed me once. I can tell you without asking, my ethereal friends, that her future doesn't look too bright now that the Lord Captain is involved. I'm looking for Interrogative Inquisitor. I have, but I don't know where he is now, I'm sorry. I don't like discussing the affairs of the Inquisition. It was my pleasure to be assistance to you, my lady. It's been nice to chat to someone normal. He glances warily at the body of the nearest blinded lunatic. I must take my leave. You're right. You shouldn't stay here, or you might run into rebels. I'll go find a safe place to watch the sky for any landing shuttles. May the Emperor protect you, my lady. Oh!
You're out!
Where's their weapons?
Change is coming. The edge is nigh.
The blinded ones are harmless. No sense in shooting them and drawing attention.
Fire on the nearest target! Idiots! Don't kill the tech priest! We need to take him alive!
Find it and let their enemies free.
Go back!
Damn.
May knowledge be thy fate. Let the cycle be discontinued.
Oh, they didn't even make it that far. Pascal. The man dressed in crimson should not have survived an explosion like that. However, he is alive. You hear the wheezing of the respirator that covers half of his face.
Not another step.
Troll comes from the fold of partially smoldering crimson raiment. It is Beneric speech, the secret language of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Beneric hymn transforms into a vox-synthesized voice that sounds like thunder rolling over a vast plain.
Flee, for I am death.
Wow. His gaunt hand rises to stop you. Immediately your vox howls in pain and your machine equipment starts cackling. The tech priest's blazing power axe disgorges a cloud of righteous spark. And his visor glows menacingly in blue and green.
By the throne! What is that servant of the Omnissiah made of? Adamantine? Ugh, blasted!
Clutches his head as his ocular implant is racked with a wave of interference. I am the rogue trader.
I identify you as a member of a high stratum belonging to Rogue Trader House von Valancius. I am detecting no need for confrontation.
Tech priest's visor focuses on your attire and examines the symbols on it.
The convoy received an order to meet you. It is no longer functional. Therefore, I propose that we continue to advance to the rendezvous point with the governor's soldiers.
The menacing blue-green glow fades and the tech priest gleams. He lowers his arms and your equipment ceases to malfunction. The tech priest stares resolutely forward. His mechadendrite tentacles rising gracefully around his hunched figure, which is illuminated by the flames of the smoldering remains of the machine. Who are you?
I identify as Magus Pascal Haneman of the priesthood of Mars. By the grace of the Omnissiah, I am currently assigned to the maintenance personnel of the station Altar Templum Calixis X-17.
Altar Templum Calixis. I have heard the name before. The station appears on House Orselio's star charts in the Furibundus system, not far from the void colony of Footfall. You have traveled a long way to come here, esteemed Magos.
This was my doing.
Tech priest turns around and stares aghast, as if he had nothing to do with just happening, but went for prayer.
The voices are being weird about him. They're saying garbled, conflicting things. Like they're talking about completely different people. But he's not a threat to you. Even if that's a bit hard to believe after all the fireworks.
You don't even know how you caused such an explosion?
The Omnissiah granted me a revelation. The spirit of this machine was dying. I wished to perform a service, for such was its design. I sensed this and appealed to it. I do not know how I did it. I merely followed my intuition. The understanding granted by the Omnissiah was not permanent. It has left me.
Why do you wish to see the governor?
I came here to carry out a sacred mission. My mentor, Archmagus Amonat, summoned me, and I hastened to answer his call. But the rabble's unrest prevented our meeting, and I was on my way to Governor Medina to determine my mentor's current location. My escort was ordered by their commander to discontinue their movement and await to be merged with your group. Then, due to their incompetence, they let themselves be killed. It was an unacceptable complication to my task.
You must be quite devoted to your mentor to be willing to wade into this mess for him.
Cessation of vital functions is an unavoidable phenomenon, and therefore an insignificant one. The doctrine of worship repudiates the fear of death. With my mentor's words, the Omnissiah gives me the algorithm for redemption and triumph in service. I will be redeemed, and I will triumph.
I invite you to join my retinue.
Acknowledged. Predicting successful and mutually beneficial cooperation.
Good. Okay, activated.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
I'll make an example out of you.
These are on, right? Oh! Nice.
Keep your wits.
The roadway extends across the White Bridge, which is suspended high above the roiling waters of the river. Below the bridge is densely packed with imposing and ostentatious buildings. Hello, friend. Your ladyship, Private Camille Regius, ready to escort you to the command center for your meeting with the governor. We regret to say the convoy sent to meet you was ambushed into critical losses and heavy fighting against the rebels. In other words, I'm the only survivor. However, the rebel forces was destroyed as well. We can settle for the command center. The success to failure ratio of combat objectives completion for this world's military speaks to its subpar efficiency. I will advise the local ruler to seek my fraternity's aid in upgrading their troops to servitor manipules. The form looks odd on you, soldier, as if it belongs to someone else. Apologies, your ladyship. Draws himself up and goes to the justice gear. It's a new uniform. The guards are in a difficult situation right now, so we often get issued whatever's left, and it isn't always the right size. Your mouth is full of mud, soldier. You are hiding something behind beaming hues of faith and loyalty. What is it? Fear, I guess? In times like these? If you give me into weakness, you're done for. And I'm not done with life just yet. Dear Witness glances at you and shakes her head. How did you make it out of alive? The Emperor protected me. With confidence. I didn't run, your ladyship, if that's what you're thinking. I was by my commander's side until the very end. I shot the last rebel from the gang that attacked us, but alas, the captain succumbed to his wounds, and the others had already died. The Emperor rests their souls. Tell me about the insurgency. The ungrateful rebel rose in rebellion against the planet's lawful governor. His lordship Caligos Winterscale, our ruler, by the will of the Emperor. And they are all heretics deserving the most terrible death. Order will be restored. Guilty will be punished. The command center. Yes, your ladyship. We have to take this avenue. It leads from the starboard right to the command center. It's a short walk. I do not
Rise
trust
to the
this
top.
guy. The remains of my squad. Once we put down the rebellion, they'll be given last honors. They deserve as soldiers fallen right in battle. Battlefield looks highly suspicious. Half of your comrades never even had a chance to draw their weapons. In the direction of the shots as well, the attackers knew exactly what path the group would take and how large it would be. The enemy is smart and cunning. Perhaps they were watching us? I must report this to the governor. Too many parts of your story fail to add up. I'm beginning to wonder if you are a traitor. I swear, your ladyship, I may have gotten a few things mixed up from inexperience, and that's why they don't add up. Please, let's walk to the governor's command center. I must carry out my orders. Once we get there, you can have the intelligence run a check on me if you wish. I'm a little soldier, and that's the truth. Now believe him, Lord Captain. Pale green is seeping from his every word, and knows this color of deceit well. I once mistook Felix's words, so humble and full of sweetness for sincerity. In truth, they were poison. Tales were better to execute an innocent than have a mole in one's ranks. Blast you, scum! Aurora will get you all the same. Aurora and the final dawn.